Civilization or Barbarism, an Authentic Anthropology by Dr. Cheikh Anta. One of the constant concerns of the AMP state was the augmentation, the enlarging of production, the creation of overproduction also, for the establishment of food reserves in order to prevent mass starvation. It has to be said that these good intentions were not always successful, nevertheless, they are alien to slave and feudal states. Ian Banu notes that in the slave state, the slave is silent. Even a opposition between patricians and plebeians, between aristocrats and democrats, takes place within the social category of free men. The materialist Democritus was as much in favor of slavery as was idealist Plato, and also Aristotle. No voice speaks out against the exploitation of man by man, contrary to the rule of in the AMP societies, where this claim is strongly advocated by the free men themselves. Thus, the contradiction emphasized by Banu is that in the slave regimes, it is the free man who makes demands on behalf of the slave, who never has a voice, while in the AMP states, it is the free and exploited peasant who makes demands, always to the exclusion of the almost silent slave. It is therefore only in the AMP societies that the ideological opposition translates into a real class antagonism. The presence of social protests against man's oppression by man occurs frequently in Oriental texts, while Greek and Roman history is marked by slave riots. The revolutionary figure that dominates in the East is that of the peasant. Throughout the thousands of years of the history of pre Hellenistic Egypt, documents prove the anxiety of those who governed, provoked by the spirit of revolt of the peasants. The agents of the so called Osirian revolution, described by Epure, and which put an end to the ancient empire, were free men, peasants who momentarily profaned, desacralized, and threw down the royalty and its repressive state machinery. In regard to China, the sinologist Edward Erks affirms that throughout its history, riots by slaves are unknown, the driving element being the peasant revolt. This long string of facts would hardly agree with a social scheme in which the slaves are in the forefront, overshadowing and the exploited peasantry. In China, criticism of social injustices constitutes a permanent part of ancient philosophical thought. It concerns always the peasants' sufferings and not that of the slaves. According to the Chinese Marxist Yan Zi Yi, the precocious discovery of dialects by the Chinese is linked to the breadth of the peasants, social movements without equivalent in history. The criticism is never of social relations, but of the manner in which the leadership fulfills its obligations to the people due to the existence of these relations. The sovereign is simply menaced with replacement by another, more human one. It is the opposite of what happened in Egypt, where social relations were actually questioned by the people, who destroyed the divine laws during the Osirian Revolution. thus conferring a character of singular authenticity of this revolution. Marionette Dambuyan, a state with a higher economical command. Katila's India. He will always go toward that which makes a profit, and he will avoid that which does not. The Art Hastra, the teaching of economic profit, is Katila's political treatise in the 4th to 3rd centuries BCE, a political theory aware of itself. Machiavellianism before its time. This treatise, according to Marionette Dambuyan, radically questions the affirmation according to which the Greeks invented politics. The cynically pursued aim is the prosperity and the aggrandizement of the kingdom, whereby no rational or efficacious means was excluded. Everything that can increase public finances, without which nothing is possible, is good. The creation of this empire in the Asia of the monsoons probably did not require any major enterprises, according to Dambuyan. Power is autocratic and secular. The king is not defiled. And we'll stop right there and continue back. Civilization or barbarism. I'm Uriel. Highest heart.